Previously on the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolved.
Just had to steal that sexy outfit of hers because she had just a onesie like a fucking dirty peasant, not a sexy bikini like that beautiful femme fatale. Ah! Sorry, I have a thing for bad girls.
And now back to legging it, people.
Hello!
It's NicoB, back with some more of the Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. When we last left off, oh my god, what an awesome way to start. Holy shit. We're controlling Susato. We're back in Japan. We're seeing some recurring characters we saw from the first case, and also Soseki is back. We face off once again against Samurai Max Payne, and he's gotten a character arc, and he's holding a grudge. Jezaille Brett's also back. The lady wouldn't get any answers on, and she's dead now. It's like, what the crap, dude? This game's starting off with a bang, and I love it. Yes, that's what I wanted to see. I'm pumped, man. I am so pumped for this game now. This game's already starting a lot better for me than the first case. And I know that is because the first case was literally nothing, right? A lot of this is coming from the fact that this is deriving it from the previous game, with some characters from the previous game, as well as characters from literally the first case that I had criticisms against. But my sort of thought process, right? Like, I think this is great. I think this is perfect here, how they're doing it. So even if it ends up being long, I don't mind. However, for when it comes to a first case, and this is just my opinion, you can disagree with it. When it comes to a first case of a game and you have nothing, you're starting with nothing, I prefer those cases to be relatively on the shorter side, you know? Because we're really just kind of learning the flow of the game, and I don't know, and getting acquainted with the world and its characters. So I always feel like the first case should be like more of a tutorial thing. I mean, it still should obviously have, you know, good characterization and everything, but have it just show us the ropes, and then make the second case the one where like it really pulls us in like super tight. However, this one's making the perfect decision for a sequel, what a sequel should do, where it is drawing upon the things from the previous game and now going to be delving deeper. And it's something that we just don't see ever in Ace Attorney games, because each Ace Attorney game is essentially made to be its own title, right? Like, you don't really have to play the previous games to get what's going on, because the game will explain who each of these characters are, what they're doing here, right at the start, you know? This one definitely feels like, yeah, I mean, they're explaining it a bit, but you're definitely gonna want to play the previous game first, all right? And I like that. I wish that Capcom did that more often with Ace Attorney. But anyway, last episode, E05 Mabashi said, Susato,
I believe my client is innocent and should not be punished for Miss Brett's murder.
Judge, and why is that?
Bitch deserved it.
Hell yeah, she did.
Yeah, she deserved to die, and I hope she burns in hell.
I mean, that's kind of true when you really think about it. It's like, I know it was a murder and all, but she was kind of a psycho fuck. So, you know, and just like, yeah, you're right. Case dismissed. All right, everybody else, let's go play on the Meiji era monkey bars. But E05, thank you so much for your hilarious comment. And it is for that reason you are comment of the day. By the way, someone actually posted a fan patch for this game that enables 60 FPS and apparently also fixes some problems with animations or something, maybe not loading in correctly, or I don't know, apparently out of the system gets like overloaded needlessly, and they like adjusted that as well. So yeah, I thought we would give that a try. It might be weird. I don't know if I've actually ever played an Ace Attorney game that played at 60 FPS. Yeah, I don't think I have. So it could be this is kind of weird. I've gotten very used to the 30, but we'll see how this looks. You might even be able to tell from their blinking animation. It might look a little smoother. So I don't know. If you guys don't like it, I can always turn it off next episode. But let me know what you guys think. I'm about to witness this for the first time myself. So, all right, the witness scene. On the day of the incident, I was ordered on a special surveillance assignment in this disguise.
Hold it! Hold it! Yatta! Isn't that jaunty disguise?
It looks pretty smooth. It looks pretty good. Correct. Wait, no. I mean, it wasn't the first time I've worn this swimsuit for a dip in the ocean. It's tried and tested. By the way, you guys also clarified. Turns out the bikinis actually weren't technically invented till like the 1940s. So, well, in that case, never mind. Sorry what I said before to you, Miss Ray. You have a legit excuse for not wearing one. But still, how dare you?
Do what must be done to keep the English woman under surveillance. Those were my orders that day.
And this tried and tested outfit was the answer.
Being able to blend flawlessly into a crowd is an important part of a detective's job. I submerged myself in the salty water, leaving only Mr. Turtle floating inconspicuously on the surface.
Oh my god! Fuck you, Hosonaga. Stop being cute.
Mr. Turtle loves the water.
Stop it! God damn it.
But there was no need for you to blend into the background on this assignment, really, was there?
If that made you late arriving on the scene, I think perhaps you had your priorities wrong. Shut up, I've got tuberculosis.
Perhaps I shouldn't pursue this line of questioning any further at the moment.
Prime, well, I got an achievement. Prime presser. Wow, thanks. I guess you did so good, you pressed one time.
I just managed to catch that crab when I suddenly heard a caterwaul from behind me.
Hold it!
I'm gonna miss saying yatta. No, it was mata. Wait, what did I say before? Shit. Fuck you. I like how when I click off screen, it's fucking progressed to the damn dialogue. I'm going back to clarify what it is I said. I can't remember the Japanese for hold it. I think, was it mata? I think yata means I did it. Yes, it was. It was mata, not yata, mata. All right, found it. I had to dig deep to find it because it actually turned out in the original game, when you actually said hold it here, it actually didn't happen until other scenes or something, because other times you just go yell sir in the fan translation of the first game, but I guess they changed it here probably because we're used to hold it. All right, what did I say?
You're describing the victim's scream, presumably, Soseki-san.
In more literary terms, you might say it was a scream that could have pierced the heavens. Or the like. Of course, that's just a metaphor. We renowned authors are wont to describe things so.
We're wont for saying the word want.
Soseki-san wasn't at all like this in England.
Anyway,
I know he's gotten a little full of himself, hasn't he? By the way, you guys did tell me before too that Soseki-san is technically based on a real person, and some of what he's talking about here is based on his life, right? Because I think he said like he'd gone to jail at one point or gotten arrested, and then came back to Japan, and then wrote a bunch of stuff and became very popular.
Anyway, I spun around at the noise, and the beach hut immediately fell under my gaze.
Yes, the beach hut.
The area is popular with government ministers. Many have seaside retreats there for rest and recuperation. Locals are prohibited from entering the area, so it's always very quiet. The beach hut is a simple structure erected as a place for people to change or take refuge from the sun.
And the crab! Don't forget the crab!
Although the Englishwoman commandeered the hut for herself, which meant that I was forced to change into my swimwear on the sand. And everyone got to bear witness to my beautiful rump.
I imagine that was rather embarrassing for you.
Well, anyway, I tossed the crab aside and headed for the beach hut at a run.
What, the crab? What, you tell me the crab is gonna play in all this?
Or in more literary terms,
I'm the crab, the beetle of Hot Wise! Damn it, I wish now will never be as cool as fucking Soseki here and his amazing poses.
I ran to the beach hut once where I found the pair in question.
Hold it!
God, fucking Susato's voice is actually perfect. It's actually fucking perfect. Although I am gonna miss, because I remember Susato was actually voiced by Kana, Japanese voice for Chiaki. I will miss her voice because I do love her acting chops as well. But holy shit, no, this girl's fantastic.
Wait, by pair you don't mean to say, but how could that be?
No, you misunderstand. Obviously, I mean the victim and the defendant, Rei Minbami-san.
Oh, it would have been helpful if you could have just said that from the outset.
If you jump to conclusions, you have to expect to fall flat on your face sometimes.
Dear me, pinning your hopes on such an outside chance. Foolish fool.
Sorry, I don't know where that came from. Very foolish. Turns out I was actually the predecessor to Von Karma of all people. I'm not related to Max Payne at all. I know, weird, right?
It really was an outside chance. Just really wish I'd realized that before I said something silly.
So, Inspector, why don't you tell the court how exactly you found the aforementioned pair in the hut?
Well, it was a sorry sight. A really grisly scene. A part of the Norrin curtain hanging in the doorway, and stepped inside only to see the defendant leaning menacingly over the lifeless body of the victim sprawled on the sand.
Repeating soundbite.
My glasses are very nearly cracked at the ominous sight of that met my eyes.
How thoroughly appalling.
Ugh. Doesn't appear to be lying here. Well, Soseki-san, can you confirm what Inspector Hosonaga is saying? I wonder. Shit!
Ah, you'd like a literary man's opinion.
Yes, yes, yes. That grum girl was to stride the Englishwoman dagger in hand and she stabbed wildly.
Stab wildly? You actually saw her do it?
Oh, indeed.
The terrible spectre, the terrapin spectre, the bloody torch, the other torment. Ah! Every sight and every sound is still carved in my melancholy memory.
That was my impression, at least. As a future literary sensation.
Council! What earth was that shrill, effeminate scream? Oh my god!
Well, excuse me.
Hey, this is 2021, ouchie, all right? Calm the fuck down. I mean, wait.
This is, what year is this? Like 1800s or something. Get on board, ouchies. Be part of the solution, not the problem, asshole. Also, I'm noticing your sweat is going behind your skin there. You might want to get that looked at. No, no, what are you insinuating? I'm as manly a Japanese man as you, bitch. Bitch. Wanna fucking throw down later? Bitch, I'll play you in some COD, alright? I'm gonna eat some Doritos and some Mountain Dew and I'm gonna fucking shit all over that smug face of yours. Motherfucker! What? Ah!
She goes over and starts dabbing for a moment. Ah! Sorry, you're right. Clearly you are the peak of masculinity. I will shut up now.
I wonder if I might interject here, Soseki-san. Something you said is troubling me.
That's incredibly sexist, asshole.
That was my impression. Were your words just now, I believe.
Oh, you see an eye twitching?
Oh, so do you mean to say you're not confident that you really did see what you've described?
No, I mean, yes. I mean, I know what I saw. My ears didn't deceive me when I heard that scream. Hence, my eyes didn't deceive me either. I can describe everything I saw vividly. I can publish it on tomorrow's newspaper serial.
Shut up, everybody. It sounds as though the next installment, wow. We spell installment with just a single L. You guys are so weird. What the fuck? I think that is actually. I don't think that's a typo. I think that's actually how it is British spelling of it. But that is super. That one looks really weird to me. Installment. All right. Anyway, it sounds like the next installment of I'm a Cat may take a macabre turn or macabre. Is it macabre? How do I pronounce that word?
Macabre.
Macabre. No, I guess I was right. I said macabre. Macabre. Thank you, Google. I think I always thought the last part was actually not. So it's just like macabre or whatever. My corn on the macabre. Macabre. La chupacabra. Now think about it. How do I say Mosherige, all right? Everyone's giving me shit about this for a long time. How do I actually say it?
On the meat bone.
Fuck you, Google.
I think it's a fool's errand. The more we press your author friend on what he saw, the more entrenched he's going to become.
Oh dear, how awkward.
Yeah, he's freaking out over there.
I saw blood on the blade. It proved to me that she stabbed the victim multiple times.
I like how my controller vibrates every time I say hold it.
She was stabbed multiple times. How can you be sure of that?
Very simple, from the blood on the blade.
The blood?
Actually, did it say in my court record that she was only stabbed one time, though? Yeah, single stab wound from behind, piercing a lung and resulting in a fatal hemorrhage. I don't see any other indications. That it might be it right there, but...
When I entered the hut, I saw the defendant holding the blade raised up in the air.
Yes, that's right. I saw it too.
Oh.
And I noted that there was blood on the blade already at that point. In other words, the victim had already been stabbed at least once by the time I arrived on the scene.
Yes, that's it, right? I saw it too.
And the victim was already holding the defendant's fountain pen in her hand too. All of which means I can be sure the victim did not die instantly.
Yes, right, saw it too.
Maybe a year in London was too much for him. He sounds like he's forgotten how to speak Japanese.
Oh, interesting. Oh, that's probably a bit. That's a bit hard to translate here, right? That's probably the other thing she means. Not just so much that he clearly got maybe a little more full of himself. It's the fact that his Japanese probably isn't as good as it used to be. I'm guessing, at least.
The logic of your argument is sound, at least.
Well, as I said, it is my guiding principle to carry out all testimonies flawlessly.
Perhaps it should have been your guiding principle to protect the victim flawlessly? That's just my personal opinion, though, bitch.
I'm dying. Is that turtle alive? Its little head bobbles. If he's alive, please don't be shaking the turtle.
Counsel, you refrain from mocking the witness. He's hiding. Look, you have shamed him and his entire family.
Oh no, I just have so many thoughts rolling around in my head and my eyes won't stop flicking.
Oh, by the way, I noticed I accidentally flubbed at one point an edit last episode. Sorry. I can't promise that won't happen occasionally. I'm doing my best. I'm trying a new editing program. I made a goof when I was cutting something. I don't generally go back and rewatch the entire episode after I've gone through and cut it. Usually I get it right, okay? I'm usually pretty good with it, but I'm trying something different. I'll try to be more careful next time. All that happened, by the way, that was when all I did was comment on Susato's eyes flicking about, and then, of course, I had to cut out the moment when the judge was like, according to this, your real name is Ryutaro Naruhodo, and then that's when we're like, she's like, huh? And then that's where it continues from there. But I was like, fuck. I get so angry at myself when I do that. So very sorry. I will do my best not to have that happen again. So
all I can do is stand here wide-eyed and mute.
Goodness, my dear, you really must try to calm down.
But how am I supposed to find an inconsistency in what these two gentlemen are saying? I don't see why either of them would have any reason to lie.
What you must remember, I think, is that witnesses may inadvertently lie at times. For various reasons, a misunderstanding, a mistaken observation, a delusion even.
Ah, a delusion.
What's important is that we determine the truth, and there's only one sure way to do that.
Yes, with evidence, of course.
Spoken like a true judicial assistant. And now, lawyer. During witness testimony, you press RB to pick a piece of evidence to present for consideration. Just carefully each statement. Okay, bugger. Yes. Once I identify the witness statement. All right, yes, I've done this. All right, we've been down this fucking rabbit hole enough times.
Hope I'm up to the task.
Don't forget that you can have the witness repeat the statements as many times as you like. And they'll say exactly the same thing every time, and so will we. Because that's how video games work.
Thanks, Dad.
Everyone has to start at the beginning, remember. This is why eyes are quite forgivable. Besides, there's no one else to defend the poor girl.
You're right. I must listen.
Okay.
The first one's always very obvious, but I just want to hear what they say here at the start, you know? The first press of the game. Anyway.
Objection!
Objection!
Oh my god. Holy shit, I'm entering bullet time! Take this, Max Payne! Oh god! Before I die, I will pass this ability on to my successor. He'll be the real Max Payne, and he'll be on a PS2 console, and he'll be the greatest thing ever. Get a few spin-offs. Yes, that's how that came to be. Anyway.
With that accusatory cry that swelled up from deep inside my ovaries, I think I finally understand. Every time Kazuma-san and Naruhodo-san have stood here at this bench, the stakes have been very, very high indeed.
What's the meaning of missing post, Counsel? Stop it! Stop bullying me like that! Shouldn't you be slapping your desk and making a funny squeaking sound like eh?
I'd like the witness to clarify something for me.
What? Where? When? Oh!
Not you, Soseki-san. This query is directed at Inspector Hosonaga.
At me?
In your statement just now, you said that the victim was stabbed multiple times.
Yes, that's right. As I said when I entered the hut, the defendant was already standing over the victim, bloody knife in hand, like a murderous demon.
Oh, no, Susato's like, no, fuck that. Which makes sense, right? We all know Susato is like 30 times stronger than Naruhodo. She's constantly tossing his ass around the room. She's like, no, she fucking slams desk, her hands go through the desk.
Cheap piece of shit! Fuck!
And yet that cannot be.
What? Get to the point, please, counsel.
Oh, she gets her little book out here. Good.
In the post-mortem report, it clearly states that the victim was stabbed one time only.
Ah.
In other words, Inspector Hosunaga's testimony is clearly flawed.
Ah!
It's Soseki-san.
Me?
You claim to have seen Mamami-san in the throes of stabbing the victim.
Yes. Yes, I did. Wildly.
But both you and the inspector confirmed the same point, that there was already blood on the knife that you saw the defendant holding.
Yes, and?
It's quite simple. We know that the murder weapon was used to stab the victim only once. Therefore, there is no way there could have been blood on the knife if that single stab hadn't already occurred.
True.
Then what exactly is your contention, counsel? Are you ever going to tell us?
Yes, Your Excellency. There's only one logical conclusion. What Soseki-san in fact saw was not the moment that the victim stabbed the victim at all, but the moment that the defendant in fact withdrew the blade from the victim's body.
That kid. Me! Oh. Inconsistency seer, I got another achievement. I'm so good at video games.
Excellent work, Susato. You exploded them with that objection, and then proceed to pull them apart systematically, piece by piece.
Objection!
What the? Oh my! Objection! That was me! That was my voice. Do you like that? Okay, I will say, I do sound a little bit better than I do the other one. And that my successor does, and those ones he goes, objection! Relatively shrill, but not that shrill. Then I think about, how am I possibly talking smack about this Yoko boy shrill scream when we all know that my clan is the shrilliest clan in all the land. So, well, this takes me back. Yes, I seem to remember your cousin staged a scene much like this in the trial 9 months ago. Many years ago! A half-witted child with a half-baked objection attempting to steal the show.
You're right. There were certain similarities. Except that so-called half-witted child managed to outwit the prosecution, who is only half a head of hair.
Slander! My head is quite adequately dressed. Look at it! In any case, all this talk of stabbing, withdrawing, and multiple wounds, it makes not a jot of difference.
What? Why not?
Engage your brain, young man. When the accused first plunged the deadly weapon into the victim, that was the fatal blow. And it was that moment, just as she had withdrawn the blade ready for her next strike, that the witness saw. The knife was already tainted with blood because the accused had already stabbed the victim.
Yeah, I knew it wouldn't really. I mean, she's trying to argue that, yeah, she's just taking the blade out. Doesn't mean that she killed them, but at the same time, it also doesn't mean that she didn't, so.
All you've successfully shown with your little display is how twitchy that guy's eyes are! Almost as twitchy as yours! That the mustached author is prone to moments of extravagance! I might need to lay off of the caffeine a little! Maybe I should too!
I am in agreement with the prosecution. If the defendant was seen wielding the blade at all, that is sufficient grounds for her actions to be viewed with suspicion.
What if she was just withdrawing the blade?
Then we are back where we started.
Sorry?
Consider this, young yokel boy. If the student girl's innocent as you claim, then why would she have pulled the blade from the victim? And with a demon's cold-blooded composure, too. The prosecution demands an explanation, and it better be good.
Why did Ray pull the knife? Out the knife?
Ah, yes, going for the jugular.
What does father mean by that?
Let the court hear your answer, then, counsel.
Truth is, I don't really know. But I have to come up with a plausible reason here. We don't have a case.
Trying to help? I mean,
The reason why the defendant pulled the knife blade out of the victim's body was surely so she could...
stab her again, yes. Save her life, hide the knife. You know, it's kind of hard to argue, though. It's like, I think in those instances, actually, it is actually better to keep the foreign object in there, sadly. Though I don't know if they would have known that. I don't know if hiding the knife would have been a good idea. Yeah, I think she wanted to save her life.
According to the postmortem report, the victim's death was not instant.
That is correct. They thought she would have remained conscious for a short while after sustaining the injury.
Indeed, giving her the time to take hold of this piece of evidence that clearly indicates her killer.
The point is, being a medical research assistant, Mbami-san was compelled to act when faced with the wounded victim. Instinctively, she pulled the blade out in an attempt to save Miss Brett's life.
Did you hear that, Your Excellency? It would seem this is the best we can expect of this young yokel.
Indeed.
Is it just me, or does it suddenly feel much colder in here?
Your Excellency, if I may. Speak, witness. I would like another opportunity to testify. In retrospect to the slipshod assertion just put forward by our yokel defense counsel, I mean.
Slipshod?
An excellent idea, Inspector. Our young yokel hopeful has a modicum of knowledge when it comes to the law, it seems. But in matters of medicine, he appears to possess not one iota of common sense.
Yeah, okay. I actually thought, did I pick the wrong one? Because I legit was like, I don't think it'd be the other two. Technically, it's probably better to keep the foreign object in there because otherwise they're just going to bleed out.
Very well, Inspector. I'll permit your request. You will testify again before the court on the subject of the defense counsel's assertion. Yes, sir, I will do it so flawlessly.
I think it's a fake turtle. I think it's just like a bobbleheaded turtle. We had bobbleheads back then. Oh, whatever. Forensic medicine primer.
Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. That's basic knowledge that any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know. In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim. Let's not forget, the young student did have a motive for killing the victim. The victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Watson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor.
Okay. I don't think I see anything right off the bat that would... So this is probably where I'm going to have to press.
Is what you said true, Inspector? Could pulling a knife from a wound really cause the wound to bleed heavily?
Yes, think of the weapon itself as a stopper in the wound that prevents excessive blood loss. Until a doctor is ready to provide proper treatment, that stopper shouldn't be removed.
Oh, I see.
Ha! This is why yokels should stay on the farm. Even a quack from some obscure mountain village would have such basic knowledge. Anyone who's ever given someone a little poke with a knife and pulled it out again knows it.
Oh, well, I've never stabbed anyone, you see, or pulled a blade out of a wound, so...
Of course you haven't. I didn't bring you up to behave like a bandit.
Father, is it true, what they're telling me?
Yes, it's basic remedial knowledge from medics. Ray would have been well aware of it. If she were to claim ignorance of such fundamentals, that would prove fatal in many ways.
But then why would Ray have done it? Could she have pulled out the knife in full knowledge that it would be fatal for Miss Brett?
I don't know.
Ray never once mentioned anything about the knife to me. Seems almost impossible to believe, but... could my friend actually have?
Susato.
Yes?
Pull yourself together. We mustn't lose sight of why we're here.
Ah!
Counsel, it's time for your cross-examination.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency.
However, I must warn you that if your cross-examination fails to identify any issue with the established facts, I will be moving to my adjudication immediately afterwards.
I understand. Believing in your clients and fighting for their cause until the bitter end. I knew it would be hard, but I had no idea it would be this hard.
All right. You have to start pressing. Pressing. Bring it on, ouchie! Ollie, ollie, oxen free!
Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding.
Hold it! Hold it! Mata!
You say doing it without thinking could be a problem. Does that mean that if you use due care and attention, it would be all right?
I wouldn't have thought this needed spilling out, really, but the blade is like a stopper in the wound. Remove it and a serious hemorrhage will occur. In other words, a medic would need to be present before any attempt was made to withdraw the blade. Doing it without thinking would be madness. You can't just do it.
Oh, well, thank you for such a thorough explanation.
You see, Counsel, when you act without thinking, the result is a bloodbath.
Ugh.
Back to the witness testimony, please.
Okay. As basic knowledge that any medical research assistant with an ounce of sense ought to know.
Hold it!
In that case, there's an obvious explanation here.
Which is...
Clearly, the defendant, Ray Membami-san, does not possess an ounce of sense.
Oh, God!
Oops.
What do you think about that, Professor Mikotoba?
I'm not sure that you should be labeling your best friend as lacking common sense.
Well, I thought it would be better than labeling her as a murderer.
I don't know, young people today. If that's friendship, I don't understand it.
Oh my God! Fuck! Jesus Christ. Careful, Counsel. A lack of common sense could be a very dangerous... I will come over there and bludgeon you to death. Oh my God, I don't think I saw this animation. Did I see... We see this animation before. I don't know if it was with this guy. I think it was actually... It might have actually been with Classic Judge. I think I might have done that at some point. It freaked me out. God, seriously, this is horrifying. Look at this. Why would you do this?
Oh dear, that recoiled on me rather badly.
That's life, I'm afraid. A lesson everyone must learn.
Hopefully you can see now that this is really basic medical knowledge. Being involved in medical research, Membami-san would certainly have been aware of it.
In other words, there's no good reason why the defendant would have tried to pull the knife from the victim.
But the defendant had suddenly encountered somebody and she knew lying on the ground, bleeding to death. The sight could have shocked her delicate sensibilities, causing her to remove the blade inadvertently.
I really don't think inadvertent actions can explain this. The woman is a medical research assistant. I can't imagine she would behave so irrationally.
Oh, but irrational behavior is a woman's prerogative, isn't it?
Oh my God.
Oh dear, you have a lot to learn about women.
Damn. Wow, Susato.
Damn, only a small-minded man would have such a bigoted views.
Oh, shit. This is 2021. Sister, come on. Let's get some that bullshit out of here. Ah!
Oh dear, perhaps I'm letting my male persona take hold a little too much.
Shit.
Well, have I managed to convey the basics now? That should cover the medical side of the argument.
Damn. So it's still going a little too hard. Let's not forget that the young student did have a motive for killing the victim.
Whatever the motive, it just isn't in Mbami-san's nature to do something so awful.
But she had both motive and opportunity. That's very hard to argue against.
But you don't know the defendant.
Objection! Oh, God. And you, counsel, do not appear to know the law.
Yes, evidence is the only way to convince the court of your argument, not feelings.
With this fledgling to defend her, I would almost say I pity the accused.
So do I.
Wah, wah.
Good grief.
Inspector, you will reiterate your point about the defendant's motive, please. Ah, yes. Miss Brett was in many ways a sworn enemy of Mbami-san.
The man the victim murdered 9 months ago, Dr. Watson, was the defendant's highly respected mentor.
Well, yes, that's true. Dr. Watson recognized Mbami-san's talent and offered her the position of assistant despite her being a woman. She was extremely grateful to him.
Yes, the Englishman appears to have been a very broad-minded individual.
Dr. Watson had no time for outdated traditions. He met with opposition, of course, but he firmly believed in Mbami-san's abilities.
Clearly the defendant was in the man's debt, which only serves to prove my point.
This is hopeless. I can't find a single crack in his testimony anywhere. If Ray knew that withdrawing the knife from the wound would threaten Miss Brett's life further. I just can't think of any way to explain why she did it.
Susato, it's at times like these when it's especially important to remember the fundamentals.
The fundamentals?
Evidence is what counts in the courtroom, isn't it?
Of course, but I've been through the court record dozens of times already.
I think perhaps you're forgetting something though. You needn't take the evidence at face value. You can and must examine it in greater detail. I realize it's your first time playing the role of lawyer in the courtroom, so if you need reminding of the rudiments, you need only ask. I'll do my very best to help.
Examine the evidence in the court record. It's an idea, certainly. What should I do?
I know what to do.
Come to think of it, Kazuma-san and Naruhodo-san were always turning evidence over and over in their hands. Yes, and to examine in great detail with A.
But look in your eyes. See, it's coming back to you. Go through the court record again and have a look at everything. You may find a clue.
Did I actually miss something? No, there it is. No, I had to go through this. That was not there. I just checked it. Okay, RM. Look how cute Susato looks.
The RM initials are clearly engraved here.
And the fact that Miss Brett was clinging to spit in her dying moments is very clearly a message too.
To identify her killer, you mean?
I don't think there can be any doubt this is a key to the piece of evidence in this case.
All right, let's try opening this thing up.
If we take the pin's lid off. Now let's unscrew the barrel, shall we? This must be the little reservoir that holds the ink.
Yes, you fill it by drawing ink from a bottle up through the nib.
Something wrong, Father.
Just that there doesn't actually appear to be any ink in there, that's all.
Oh yes, you're right. It's pretty much empty. Well, Could be on the verge of running out, I suppose.
Oh, well, no, there we go. I was right. It's the reporter dude that's staying behind him with a giant blotch of ink on the side of his hand. I win! All right, case closed, guys. We did it! Woo! Let's go to Chuck E. Cheese to celebrate. Yeah!
Well, it could be on the verge of running out, I suppose.
Is that actually going to help me in this moment, though? Oh, no, here we go. Okay. No, now I can just simply examine everything. I'm not even just looking at the just the pin. I can look at literally everything fully in 3D.
Raucous, England returnees to all. This is the interview with you and Soseki-san, is it, Father?
Yes, he kept dabbing on me, and I kept telling him to stop, but he wouldn't.
So it was quite an exchange.
Yes, he became a little over-animated when he was talking about his time in England. The photographer managed to capture the moment his hand karate chopped me on the neck. Oh, God.
I do hope you weren't hurt.
Okay. Anything else around here? Anything on the back?
This is a newspaper from Soseki-san. There seems to be an important article on the back page as well. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from Yume Medical Research Laboratory. From Yume's Medical Research. Father, isn't that your lab?
What the? Let me see that. The poison was stolen?
It's this morning's paper that Soseki-san gave us. Are you saying you didn't know?
As embarrassing as that is for the head of the laboratory, I didn't. I've not heard any such thing. Where on earth could the reporter have gleaned his information?
Come to think of it, there was no article mentioning the story in our paper this morning, was there?
It was a highly toxic poison we've been working on in the strictest confidence. I'd put Ray in charge of the project.
Ray? She was managing it?
What's written here is true. It means that she tried to hide the theft from me. And moreover, the details were leaked somehow.
I don't believe it.
We need to read this article very carefully. Uh-oh.
There's actually more damning evidence against us. Hey, you know what? I'm just gonna forget that.
An article about poison was stolen from the laboratory. My father, who was responsible for the lab, did not know anything about the incident. Okay. Exclusive. Deadly poison stolen from the Yume Medical Research Laboratory. Following a lecture at Yume by Soseki and Asume on the 11th of August, it's come to light that a very disturbing incident took place. A deadly poison being secretly developed in the university's forensic science laboratory was stolen. Even the smallest amount entering the body, either via the mouth or via a wound from a poison-laced blade, would prove fatal in minutes. Current methods cannot detect the newly developed chemical. The university would have to be consulted. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, starting with impaired breathing and ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death. Such symptoms would be suggestive of this toxin. It's apparently an entirely new synthesis of alkaloids and rumored to have been commissioned by the military. Interesting. Wasn't this similar to what we found actually happened with the death of Watson too? Or what? Wait, no, is that right? I feel like this seems familiar where we had something happen that was like our autopsy wouldn't detect it. So it became like this point of contention where, well, if we can't detect it, then how do we even know it was there or something, right? Like I could do anything here nor here. Okay, I think this is probably what's gonna be the case here. Pulling a blade from a wound without thinking could cause heavy bleeding. Basic knowledge. No good reason why the defendant would try to pull the knife from the victim. I think in this instance, it is because it might have been poison.
Objection!
Yep.
No, there is one possibility. One very good reason why the defendant might have decided to withdraw the knife from the victim's wound.
This is gonna come back to bite me though very quickly. What?
Ha! The yokel not only has a poor grasp of the law, but is also a poor loser! Tell us then, what possibility you think you've identified?
It's here, in this newspaper article. An article about deadly poison having been stolen from a laboratory in the imperishable Yume University.
Objection! The victim perished from a stab wound. Poison has no relevance in this case.
But
Prosecutor Ouchie, you will let the defense speak.
But a newspaper article? The court cannot rely on the kind of hearsay those wretched publications carry.
Counsel for the defense. I'm going to need some tangible basis for your claim. You will indicate to the court precisely what part of the newspaper article mentioned affirms your assertion.
Your Excellency!
yes, of course. Thank you. Ray would never have done something to further endanger Miss Brett's life without just cause. The reason why the defendant pulled the knife from the victim's body is explained in the article where it says,
Poison stolen from the laboratory, deadly in tiny quantities. Why is the poison being developed? Deadly in tiny quantities.
The article reveals the following property about the poison in question. When the toxin enters the body on a knife laced with the poison, it's rapidly absorbed and causes death in minutes.
Are you suggesting?
If the knife used to attack Miss Brett was laced with this very poison, it would explain why the defendant, Mimbami-san, would have withdrawn the blade as soon as possible. Yes, the truth is, it was an attempt to stop the poison from entering the victim's body.
What? Yeah, but then how would she have known the poison was on there? Yeah, I feel it's getting shot down pretty fast, I think.
This is complete utter nonsense!
Not at all. The defendant withdrew the knife blade from the victim's body not to accelerate the woman's demise, but to save her life. And the prosecution cannot deny the possibility.
Have you not read the post-mortem report? The cause of death was hemorrhage. The word poison appears nowhere in the document.
Well, that's because by acting quickly to remove the blade, the defendant prevented the poison from taking hold.
No, read further. Read further ahead in the article.
Oh, please, this is clearly desperation. The weasel's last breaking of wind. Poison has nothing whatsoever to do with this case, as I believe the defense is well aware. We have no proof that the information in this wretched newspaper article is at all reliable anyway.
In that situation, what the student should have done is wait for medical assistance to arrive. But instead, you claim she suspected poisoning and took the potentially lethal decision to remove the knife, or the blade. She must have had a strong reason for suspicions then, or the argument makes no sense.
Exactly. Well put, Inspector. On what grounds did she do it, Yoko?
Why did Ray suspect the stolen poison was involved? If you want grounds, I'll give you grounds.
What?
You can't possibly.
From your expression, counsel, it would appear those are not empty words. But naturally, as you stand in this courtroom as a lawyer, you must be aware that words alone, empty or not, are of no value in our modern justice system. Modern! The court demands evidence.
Yes, Your Excellency. I'm well aware of that. I've seen it many times, from my place at his side in the Old Bailey.
In that case, counsel, you present the proof to the court now. What evidence demonstrates a clear link between this case and the poison in the newspaper article?
Be this. The constriction of the pupils.
I would ask the court to refer to the notes section of the postmortem report, which reads, extreme meiosis, pupil constriction was observed in the victim.
Why does your voice keep changing pitch?
Shut up! Clearly, being a yokel with no knowledge of forensic science, I have no idea. So please do tell me. Presumably, the fact that this condition of the victim was noted in the postmortem report means that it's an unusual symptom of death.
Well,
under normal circumstances, the pupils dilate when someone dies. If there was extreme constriction instead, that's most certainly unusual, yes.
What are you doing, you yokel detective? You're all yokels! You're a yokel, you're a yokel, I'm a yokel! Yokels everywhere!
In the newspaper article is the following information about the stolen poison. Onset of symptoms occurs in minutes, ending with acute contraction of the pupils prior to death.
What?
The defendant, upon seeing the victim stabbed in the back, happened to notice that the pupils of Miss Brett's eyes had constricted severely.
Yes. As medical research assistant, she would have suspected poison immediately, without doubt.
Oh, yes, of course, yeah. See, I didn't even think that, yeah, she would just looked at the eyes and figured it out that way.
Prosecutor Ouchie, I think you'll agree, this is very compelling evidence.
You Yokel student and Yokel master!
I believe the defense has expertly demonstrated a credible reason for the defendant's actions.
No, it's happening again!
Yushin Mikotoba. Yes, Your Excellency. I believe you are best placed here to confirm or deny the veracity of the defense counsel's argument. You will tell the court the truth about the details reported in this newspaper, please. It pains me to have to admit it, but I'm afraid I don't know. You don't know. The toxin was kept under lock and key in my laboratory, certainly, but I was unaware of any theft. Do you mean to tell the court that the reports of this theft are unfounded? No, Your Excellency. Without returning to the laboratory to investigate myself, I couldn't say.
Ha! Listen to the bumbling academic. unaware of the theft of secrecy research from his own workplace until he reads of it in the newspaper.
I take full responsibility for the incompetence of my supervision.
Father.
A pitiful situation for a university professor. You should have more control over your students rather than allowing them off on killing sprees.
Ah, slam!
That's totally unfounded.
Hold it! Who's talking? Ah! Ah! It's
Me! Hold it! I'm here now!
holy crap! Where'd you come from?
No, this is Professor Mikotoba's fault. It's all my fault. Ray.
Mimbami-san, you stand accused here. Outbursts like this will not be tolerated.
But it was me. I was the one who noticed that the poison we were developing had been stolen that day.
What?
So you knew? I've been placed in charge of overseeing the project. It was the day that the professor and Soseki-san were interviewed together for the newspaper. That's when I noticed that some of the poison was missing. Just a tiny amount it was.
Why didn't you let me know immediately?
I was scared. The whole project was supposed to be confidential, but some of the toxin had somehow been taken. So, I decided I'd try to get it back before anyone else found out.
Oh, I bet the toxin was put into the pin, right? I bet that's what did it. The pin is actually the murder weapon. The poison was put in there, and the ink that was removed is what is on that guy's hand, right? That's like basically the smoking gun. It is actually the ink on his hand, and the putting the poison in the pin. I don't know exactly how. Maybe she got stabbed with the pin. I think at some point maybe they might have taken the. Well, actually no. Maybe they took the pin, laced the blade with the poison, and then stabbed her with it that way. I don't know.
So I decided to try to get it back before anyone else found out. Because I had a very good idea who the thief was.
Yeah.
The thief? You don't mean? Yes, of course. It was that dainty English woman.
Miss Jezaille Brett.
That's why I decided to join the little group of people going to the seaside. Inside the beach hut, I confronted Miss Brett. But she just sat on a stool at the back of the hut, smiling sweetly at me as if she knew she was untouchable.
Of course.
I know it was you who stole the poison. Well now, whatever do you mean? And then, she suddenly got to her feet, before falling to her knees in front of me and then collapsing on the floor. That's when I saw the knife in her back. I couldn't understand what had just happened. And then, a moment later, I was seized with fear. The pupils of her eyes they shrunk in to tiny pinpoints.
Wait, you're telling me she has eyes? That just occurred to me. She actually does have eyes?
I don't believe it. In other words, you realized that the victim was suffering the effects of the stolen poison.
My mind started racing. I hadn't seen anything past Miss Brett's lips whilst I'd been with her, which left only one possible way for the poison to have entered her body. On the blade of the knife in her back.
And that train of thought was what spurred you to withdraw the blade.
Yes, if the amount that had entered the bloodstream was small enough, she might still have a chance. That's what I hoped. Really, I'm so sorry for staying silent all this time.
Your attempt to hide the truth of what happened is not something that can be overlooked.
Well, it was confidential shit, but still, it would have probably helped your case a little bit, Ray.
However, I've duly noted the courage with which you have confessed in the end.
Thank you, Your Excellency. It's barely perceptible, but I do think the balance has shifted a little here in this courtroom now.
Objection! Your Excellency, do not be deceived! The victim just collapsed before your eyes, you say? Well, Mimbami-san, if that is the case, perhaps you can explain how Miss Brett came to be stabbed.
Well,
You have no answer because the simple truth is that you stabbed the victim motivated by revenge!
Objection!
but you have no conclusive evidence to prove that assertion, do you?
Oh, I have evidence, and it is very much conclusive. Oh, shit.
What's the prosecution counsel up to? It was brief, but he hesitated for a moment there. Almost sure of it.
You will produce the aforementioned evidence at once, Prosecutor Ouchie.
Perhaps some praise is due, young yokel student.
What?
I'd imagine there would be no need for me to submit this evidence.
Oh. Oh, there's a picture again, and it's got the crack in the lens.
But you brought this on yourself! Die, bitch!
Oh my god, look, guys, you can see it. Her eyes, they do exist.
What the?
Oh shit, get fucked.
Could a more damning shot exist? The cruelty in the air on that beach is almost palpable.
I mean, it could just be her pulling it out.
This evidence, more than any other, reveals the true extent of the accused's murderous nature. First shows the precise moment that Membabi's unplunged her dagger into the victim's back.
No, that's not true. No! I don't believe it. Ah!
Order, order, order!
I'm almost wondering, almost makes me wonder if the person that's taking the picture, right? This reporter guy. So like, I'm thinking he's clearly gonna be the killer, right? So did he like provide this photographic evidence or something to the prosecution? Man, I do wonder, like, right, this is probably, it was a picture of the moment that she was removing the knife, right? But he's providing it to him, and I do wonder how well aware he is that the fact that this could actually be not that moment, right? I think that's why Susato pointed out he hesitated there, right? Which means he was like, uh-oh, I'm about to present this evidence that I know is not actually what it looks to be. So, which, if that is the case, this could end up leading to like the disbarment of Ouchie here. So it'd be like a real like fall from grace if he's intentionally presenting something that he knows is not actually the truth.
Counsel for the defense, was it you who was responsible for that shrill scream that just pierced my courtroom?
Perhaps his voice is yet to break. These yokels are slow of mind and slow to mature. His balls haven't dropped yet.
My balls have definitely dropped. I'll show you who's slow to mature.
Careful now. Susato is starting to show her face here. It's often said that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and here we have ample proof. The court will accept this extremely cogent photographic print as evidence.
A photographic print taken at the moment the victim was stabbed. My friend Ray can be seen kneeling over Miss Brett. Or was it?
I can't believe he's had a photograph like this up his sleeve the entire time. Such a stark image. I'm genuinely lost for words.
Yeah. Why would he have waited? I think it is. I think he's aware of it. And if they figure it out, he's gonna be in trouble.
Wait a minute. I don't understand. How did you... I mean, who took that photograph? Ray.
Objection! That's of no importance here. Stop trying to divert attention.
Yeah.
Oh. Objection? That's an absurd thing to say. It's crucially important. Whoever took this photographic print was a witness to Miss Brett's death.
Yep.
The court must be allowed to hear this person's testimony.
Ah!
Oh, this is... Oh, I think I see where this might be going, and it's so good. It's gonna be such a... Ooh, such a poetic karmic moment for Ouchie here, right?
I will uphold the defense's demand. The prosecution will reveal the identity of the person responsible for taking this photograph at once.
Well, I'm afraid I can't do that.
Pardon?
You see, this print arrived at the Imperial Police Bureau headquarters by my express post yesterday. But there was nothing to indicate the sender's name or address. The provenance of the picture is unknown.
Oh, he doesn't actually know. Interesting. Okay.
Goodness.
Are we to understand then, counsel, that in full knowledge of the fact that this photograph has the murkiest of origins, you nevertheless believe it fit for submission as evidence in the Supreme Court?
When you first produced that print before, I noticed that you hesitated for a brief moment. Because you knew that it was completely reliable evidence, didn't you?
Silence, you yokel student and blabbering professor!
He will take whatever, he will do whatever it takes to win, right?
What matters is the blatant truth that this print so eloquently expresses.
But the defendant has already admitted to pulling the blade from the wound.
Yep.
Clearly, this isn't the moment the knife was plunged into the victim's back, but...
The moment it was withdrawn. Don't waste this court's time with your ramblings.
Indeed, without knowledge of who produced this print, we have no means of verifying the claim.
But in that same regard, then, we also shouldn't be able to take this at face value either.
And the scene it captures without doubt the most compelling evidence presented to the court.
Oh, come on, Uji. Come on, Meiji Uji.
If the defense is unable to shed any further light on the matter, I believe the conclusion is clear.
Oh no! You bitch!
Susato, this is the time for you to fight. If what you've established so far is true, then there can be no doubt. This photograph shows the moment that Ray withdrew the blade from the victim.
Yes, we just need to prove that somehow.
We'll figure it out because the person that took the photograph, we'll know who photographed the article, right? Because that's that same crack in the lens. And it's going to be the guy that's standing right behind Soseki, which is going to make things very convenient.
You have plenty of time to rue your defeat on that slow train back to the provinces. And to rue the day you came up against Takatsuchi Ouchi in a court of law!
I can't determine who took this photograph. The trial's going to come to an end. There must be clues somewhere. There must be some way of working out who took it.
Well, counsel.
Your Excellency, the burning question is who took that photograph, and the truth is, I have the answer, bitch. Smack those cheeks! Woo! Woo! This isn't about whether I can or can't come up with the answer now. I simply have to. The identity of the person who took the dramatic photographic print is, I assure you, something a defense can and will reveal.
What? No! No! You can't possibly! But, as you so boldly claim that you can, please do enlighten us!
Unfortunately, I'm unable to present a name.
How utterly underwhelming. Did you really believe you could?
However, I am able to present evidence. The defense is a piece of evidence that reveals important details about the photographer's identity.
What?
Very well then, counsel. Present your proof to the court. Which piece of evidence do you claim reveals something about the identity of the mysterious photographer? Behold. What is that? The newspaper again. Raucous England attorneys tell all.
It's not the headline that's relevant here, Your Excellency. It's the photograph.
Dab!
If you look closely, you'll notice that there are some white lines on the right-hand side.
Ah, yes indeed. They had already caught my eye, as it happens.
Ha! What of it? A shadow of some kind, presumably? From the branches of a tree or the like.
There are no trees growing inside my laboratory at the university, I can assure you.
Now, if you look closely at this photograph...
Really needs to get that shit fixed.
Good gracious!
Yes, exactly the same pattern of lines is present on this photograph, too.
Objection! Well, that tells us nothing! Yes, it's a shadow of some kind, definitely. From the branches of a tree.
There wouldn't be any trees growing inside a hut at the beach, Council.
What's quite remarkable about it is that the two patterns are absolutely identical. How could such an extraordinary similarity have transpired?
The curious matching pattern that appears on both photographic prints is a result of...
I know this probably would, like, to us would be like super obvious, but come on, this back in the during this period of time, this something like this is probably would not be, I think, is like if this were in a present day Phoenix Wright game, I'd probably been like, okay, come on, guys. But in this moment, I think this makes sense. Camera defect.
Obviously, it must be due to a problem with the camera used to take the photographs.
With the photographic device?
Yes, we can confidently say the camera's lens must be scratched. And that's that the scratch lens caused unwanted lines to appear on every print taken with the device.
Should have photoshopped that shit out, man.
And sure, the two photographs under consideration here were taken with the same camera.
But there must be hundreds of such camera devices here in the capital. It would be utterly impossible to identify the owner of this particular one.
Objection!
Objection! I think you're forgetting, Prosecutor Ouchi, that one of the photographs featured in a newspaper article.
A newspaper?
That's right. The author of that article is the mystery witness to the crime.
What? Ah!
What?
Ah! What the hell did he even just say? It auto-scrolled.
Mino Mimo.
I have no idea. I see why you were called a raucous England returnee.
What are you talking about? You already testified. Get out of here, weirdo.
It's Mini-Mimo! I tell you, Mini-Mimo! Me, oh!
Soseki-san, what was that? Did you say Mina Mimo?
Ever since I returned to Japan, a reporter from the Shoyu News has been hounding me, following my every move. A reporter by the name of Ryutaro Minamimo. Yes, hounding me from dawn till dusk.
Ryutaro Mimo. Ryutaro Mimo. Ryutaro Mimo. It's pronounced Raiden or Raiden? By the way, I guess I should just say Ray's original name in Japanese is actually different. It's actually not. It's not the same here. They punned it up a bit. Writing. It's either writing or rating. Oh, writing me a memo. Writing me a memo? Yeah. Rating. Yeah. Right. I think it is. Writing me a memo. I think that's what it is.
Ah, now that he mentions it.
That guy.
Mr. Gray Spy, stop shot, scribble stories, and scupper my privacy.
The same reporter, B.
Guy really should have left the country.
A camera to the left of him, a notebook to the right. And there I am, stuck in the middle with Rotten Minimo.
So you're saying this picture was taken by
Minimo, yes! My lord, your excellency, Esquire.
Officer, find this newspaper reporter at once and bring him to my courtroom. We'll adjourn for a short recess in the meantime.
Oh, yes, your excellency.
As you say, Your Excellency.
And one more thing. I want this knife, the murder weapon, examined for trace of poison. You will solicit the assistance of the Imperial University's medical department for the task. Understood.
Huh? Meh. Meh.
Going on a save break, or we stopping to?
Wow! To be continued in the first case. Wow.
It's actually really funny because if I recall correctly, I don't think there was a to be continued in the first case of the last game, but that case was also insanely longer. Like we're already, I mean, I could tell already that we're kind of getting to, I think, the meat of this. I don't think it's gonna, I imagine next episode will likely be the last one for this case. It seems like this one could be, I mean, I could be wrong, but I think it's pretty clear it's gonna be, this guy's gonna be the killer, right? And that first case in the last game was like, I think it was 5 episodes. Seriously, that was, it was like, I was like, I couldn't believe how long it was. And there was no to be continues. All right, guys, cool. I was about to wrap it up here shortly anyway, but the game was nice enough to give me a save point. I always love it when things end on a save point. Fuck yeah. But anyway, guys, I hope you all enjoy this episode. God damn, man. I could tell, all right? I could tell already really early. I'm like, this is going to be a good Let's Play, man. This is going to be a good fucking playthrough. Fuck yeah, baby. Let's go. I guess it makes sense. This is trial part 1, so I guess technically there is a part 2. But anyway, if you did, please leave a like and a favorite. It really does help me out. And subscribe for an alright company penguin. Aboard this LP, where the days are always sunny and the vids are always funny. And as always, guys, till next time, stay classy.